There's not much to talk about right now, so let's have some fun.
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the boog, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off, and you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie 5.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie 5, and we're ready to have some fun. There's not much news right now, so I brought my buddy on, Ben Taylor from the Auburn Network, and I put together a list of questions, and we're going to have some fun.
Which I have not seen nor heard. This usually either turns into total disaster or we get some hot takes. We're at least going to get some responses probably in the comments because
I'd love to give some practice updates. I'd love to give some recruiting updates.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing going on. And guess what? It's about to be a dead period, and it could be just go off the rails. So we just got to survive right now, but this is going to be fun. We're going to have a blast doing this. Before we jump in, let's give a quick shout out to Roback.com. Use coupon code BUTTON20 to take 20% off your order. They are top button friendly polos. If you like polos, the collars are magnificent. They button
doesn't really fit my style.
Yeah, Ben is a no button. I'm a top button. Ben's a no button. Prints. If you love prints, they got them. If you want to go classic with stripes and solids, they got those too. So they got a little bit of everything. So check them out. Show them some love. It's Roback.com. Ben, are you ready for this? I got a list. You are unprepared.
Yeah.
You are unprepared. This is going to be a fun show. I want everybody listening to also answer these. You can answer in the comments, whatever. Let's have some conversation. Okay, so let's just go ahead and throw this out there right off the bat.
Okay.
Over under 7.5 wins. That is the Vegas line right now.
Mm-hmm.
What's your pick, and how do you defend your pick?
I can easily defend it because it's got to be the over. You could have said 8.5, and it would have to be the over from my take.
8.5.
Yes.
Okay.
I have been asked this numerous times by buddies of mine, people in the media. They're like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Looking at the record, what do you think? I'm like, pay no attention to what Vegas does. I know that they got a ton of like brass and gold and all that the money keeps over in Vegas. However, when you take a look just on paper, Kyle, and I've said this to numerous people, when you take a look on paper, Auburn is legitimately better than every team talent-wise on paper, with the exception of 2 or 3 teams on their schedule. My take was that they're going to, and I had this discussion with Jacob Goins, where I think that Auburn starts 4-1 heading into the Georgia night game. So you got 4 wins under your belt, and that means basically I'm saying you got to win Baylor, because I think that you're going to either lose at Oklahoma, which you've never been there, or Jackson Arnold gets too basically emotionally involved. So maybe you lose there. If you don't lose there and you win there, then you probably lose at A&M, because let's just call Elko what he is. I think he's a pretty good coach. I don't like A&M.
I'll take a split right there all day long.
I'll take a split. So that puts us 4-1 going into Georgia. This does not include the Georgia. This is, let's just say, pass on Georgia.
Okay.
So then you take it.
I'll do that. I would take that too. If you could pass on Georgia, I would take that.
After Georgia, you got 5 games going into Alabama. There is no reason in the world that Auburn cannot be 5-0 during that 5-game stretch against Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, payback game, and Mercer. There is zero reason, when you look at the talent in both locker rooms from each team playing, that Auburn should not win those 5 games based on talent and roster alone. This doesn't factor in injury and all that kind of good stuff. So that there gives you 9 wins without having to play Georgia and without having to play Alabama. The boog is high at the Taylor household right now.
That's some boog right there, my man. I mean, if you just go Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Mercer, you should win all 5 of those. Now, that's should, okay? So that's 5. And then Ball State and South Alabama, that's 7 right there. So then all you got to do is win 1 of Baylor, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Georgia, or Alabama, and you go over the number.
Yeah.
I like your pick. I'll take it. Over 7.5. Ben says it's a lead dead lock. Lock it in. Wager everything.
You and I talked earlier in the week.
Empty the boats.
Exactly. When we talked earlier about like Vegas is gradually thinking about, because I think people are putting big money guys, not that oil money is going in right now on Auburn. And so I think by the time the fall rolls around, I wouldn't be shocked, Kyle, if that number doesn't sneak up to 8.5. It goes from 7.5 to 8.5. So
that's a big jump. Maybe I have seen it places at 8, but 8.5, that's a big jump. I mean,
long time between now and the first game, though.
It's true. It's true. A lot of stuff will happen.
A lot of rich people with a lot of ways to spend money.
Ben says pound the over. Like, don't even think about it. You get on it now. Ben you could cause the line to move.
I very well could.
Cause the line to move. All right, 3,000-yard passer. Yes or no? Only had 2 in history, which is pathetic.
Yeah.
Let me just give you
okay, so the only thing that gives me I got to ask this, not even to be a 3,000-yard passer. I got to ask if we're looking anywhere between 2,000 and 2,500, and I was reluctant there. So I got to go no on the 3,000 because I've already gone no before on like 2,000 to 2,500. So, and the reason being is because I think we're focusing too much on the receivers and how great they are.
Mm-hmm.
However, we got to focus more on, is Jackson Arnold capable of making that happen?
Okay, have you ever broken? Let me ask you this really quick. Have you ever broken down how much 3,000 yards is over a 13-game season? How many? What's your yard per game average needs to be?
Oh, I'm not mathing. That's like asking you to find the capital of Nebraska.
It's 200. It's 230 yards. It is not asking that much.
It's not.
I mean, I just in a Hugh Freeze offense, I don't see unless Jackson Arnold is just really bad, which is capable, or he gets hurt. I don't see how he doesn't throw over 3,000 yards.
There's only 2 in history.
That doesn't. But see, I say that as it's pathetic for Auburn, not as those. The history means nothing for this season. The history doesn't mean like it doesn't. It's not because it's not. There's not an obstacle from history that's keeping us from doing it.
No, and they played less games before. I mean, we're playing more games now than what they did before.
Sure, exactly. So you should get 13 games. I say for sure, got to go over.
I mean, then again, you got to say you go when you break it down like that. Like you're basically, let's just call it 250 a game. 250 a game secures it for you. Yeah. So you get 250 a game.
250 gets it before the bowl game.
And yeah, I was going to say, and you're going to have to include a bowl game because if you go with my prediction and hit the over, we're going to a bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I still say no.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say this: if we're not close, we're going to be in trouble. If
we're not close, we don't get that 4-1 at the first of the season. We don't get that 5-0 stretch if we're not close.
So how do you justify that then? You just said we're going to boog like crazy, and now we're not going to have a 3,000-yard passer. You're talking yourself out of it.
We're going to have an excellent run game.
Okay. Well, that leads you to number third.
And we got some DBs and special teams that can house it, baby.
I guess so. I guess so. We're going to have a lot of what do they call them? When I guess hidden points. Yeah. All right, 1,000-yard rusher. Yes or no?
Yes.
Really? Who is it going to be?
I don't know.
I'm going to go one.
I'm going to go with Damari just because I think that he's going to break a few, that he has a little bit more speed than probably what Jarquez had. Jarquez was he grabbed some yards. I also think with this receiver, I know this sounds terrible to say, and every coach that's listening to this is going, this is so stupid, don't say this. I think that the pass will actually open up the run a little bit. I think that with the receivers on the outside, defenses are going to have to play Auburn differently. And if you can get Austin around the edge or to a crease somewhere, where Jarquez would pick up 8 or 9, I think with his speed, he could probably pick up 12 or 14, and it kind of adds up before the end of the season's over.
I don't think we'll have to formation as much to be able to run the ball. I think we'll be able to run. I think these running backs are a little bit more side-to-side agility than Jarquez, so maybe you don't have to formation as much to be able to actually run the ball. So I don't think there's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver, but I totally get rusher. Yeah, but I totally get your argument. 1,000-yard receiver, yes or no? There's only been like 2 ever, and it's been since 1999. I think was the last one. It was Ronnie Daniels.
I think there's everybody's going to look at Cam Coleman, but I look at the Georgia Tech transfer that I think could
Eric
possibly.
Singleton.
Yeah, Singleton could, and the reason being is just because yards after the catch. I mean, when you look at what he's done in practice and you look at what he did at Georgia Tech, and you're talking about Georgia Tech that does not throw the football, like they don't put the ball in the air, and he still had success there. So I think Singleton could. Yes, I think Singleton could be a 1,000-yard receiver.
I think they're going to cannibalize each other. I think you're going to have several guys be. I think you'll have several guys be around, 700 plus yards. Like I think Cam will be somewhere around 800 to 900. Singleton will be about the same. Malcolm Simmons will probably have somewhere around 500-600 yards. And then, I mean, next thing you know, everybody's kind of taking receptions from each other. But
I will say this. I don't know that I want the 1,000-yard receiver. I would rather have your scenario that you're talking about.
Spread it around, baby.
Spread the love. I mean, and another reason being, I mean, I know that Singleton's going to be gone after this year. I don't want to have to be paying kids to stay here because of transfer issues. So I would love to spread the love and make sure that they're kept happy. I'm not saying that that's why you throw it to keep them happy, because clearly they have the talent. I mean, with Thompson on the outside, Simmons being able to, play wherever. If they want to put him out, if they want to put him in a slot, wherever they want to stick him, he can be fine. And
you got Horatio Fields, you got Sam Turner, like all those guys starting, and you mentioned Perry Thompson. So a lot of mouths to feed. I think they'll cannibalize each other.
I mean, if we get 5 at 500 plus, I don't need a 1,000-yard receiver.
No, that'd be pretty solid. That'd be close. That'd be closing in on that 3,000-yard mark.
Yep.
All right. Last one of this section. Top 10 recruiting class, yes or no? It's a tough one.
Can I cheat? Where are we now?
Terrible. It's like right now you're depending on which site you're looking at. If you're looking at 247, you're like in the 50s.
We're in the 50. Golly, I thought we got down.
We only have 7. We only have 7 commits. And on three is not that bad. Like the on 3 industry average, you're in the high 20s, I think.
I don't think we get to. I think we get to like 12 or 11. I think we scratch the surface, but we don't necessarily break that top 10.
28 on 3's industry average.
Yeah, if you get 2 or 3 big names, that always gives you a boost. Like you can literally jump from the 40s to the teens.
Yeah, we only have 7 commits. So like if you get Landon Duckworth, you're going to skyrocket. Or, Ernest Rankings or somebody, one of these guys that are higher ranked that you're going after, you skyrocket.
You and I we also say that we know that we're going to lose one that we really think we got to.
Yeah, so, they've done a good job at retention, but I mean, odds are you're probably going to lose.
I'm going to go no on that. I'm going to go just outside the top 10.
I'm going to say yes, and this is why. I think that I think your scenario of the season is going to play out. And I think Auburn's probably going to start. I'm hoping start off 4-1. Then you have a bye week, and then you have the Georgia game under the lights. That's going to be one of the biggest atmospheres and one of the biggest recruiting weekends of the year. And everybody's going to be fired up, and you're starting to kind of see proof of concept. And I think you're going to start flipping like crazy. October's going to be, and then you're going to go on that October run. And then just continue the momentum. So I'm going to say yes. I think Auburn figures out a way to get back in the top 10. Or maybe it's going to be close. It's going to be close right around the top 10. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and I have some pretty diabolical questions to ask. It's not season-related. It's just Auburn-related. So we'll be back right after this. All right, let's have some fun. All right, you ready for this?
We were having fun already.
That was fun. That was fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay. In 2020, were you pro the Gus firing in 2020?
Yes.
Okay.
That really ticks a lot of people off when I say that.
Really?
And the reason I was a pro Gus firing is because I thought that Auburn needed to step up and get that next level. I thought we got too happy with 8 wins. I know now looking at it, I think people are still burned by Harsin. So I think looking at it now, people still go, well, at least it was 8 wins. We ain't sniffed that in a while. I'm like,
yeah, well, that's not where we want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you wanted to get to that next level, and I think Gus got a little complacent. I think he still recruited well, but as far as
in spots,
yeah,
in certain spots,
in spots. But my thing was with the formations that he used on offense and the things that he did. Kyle, I heard one guy tell me one of the best lines I ever heard. He goes, "If I'm sitting at 9 beers in on my couch and I know what Auburn's about to run, trust me, the guys making $150,000 a year sitting down on the sideline, they definitely know what he's about."
I never will forget in 2018, when Tennessee came to Jordan-Hare and Jeremy Pruitt was pointing out exactly where we were going to throw the ball. When he pointed out, there's highlights of him pointing out reverse. Yes. We were going to run a reverse or a reverse pass or something like that, and he's pointing to where to go on defense, and of course, it turns into a huge loss. Let me make it tougher. Were you pro extension in 2017?
No.
No,
not with the extension they were willing to give him. Not with what they were when they
any extension.
Maybe 2 years, just to kind of keep
not
him around
until
you
guaranteed.
Found something better. My problem with the whole firing of Gus and the extension part is when they let him go, they had zero plan.
Yeah,
and so yeah, that's what it came across as. Maybe they did behind the scenes and I didn't know about it or something fell through, but. That was my issue. Everybody goes, "Oh, you're pro Gus." I'm like, no, I actually was ready for Gus to move on.
They did have a plan. It was Kevin Steele. That was going to be the plan,
but honestly,
we stopped it.
I didn't like that plan either.
I mean, in hindsight, it might not have been that bad.
Oh, hindsight! Let me tell you,
I wish they'd have hired Hugh.
Now,
yeah, I wish they'd have hired Hugh in 2020.
There's no doubt. I think that we would be talking about a different Auburn program if they would have gone from Gus.
Because the portal hadn't all the way gotten there yet, and he could have pounded recruiting really hard.
Yep.
And there was some really good Alabama classes, like state of Alabama classes along that time. That's kind of how I feel about that. All right.
So no, I was not pro extent. I love that question though. That's good.
There you go.
I guarantee you most people would say yes, because when they gave it to him, he was hitting on a lot of good cylinders there.
I hated that they negotiated it in between the Iron Bowl and the SEC championship. That kind of sucked. So
yeah.
All right. This one's going to be controversial, but I can't wait to hear your answer. Did Auburn pay Cam?
No. Mississippi State paid Cam. Mississippi State paid Cam, and we just reap the benefits of it. I don't. Everybody always points to the $250,000.
180.
Excuse me, 180.
Greatest deal ever. Best deal in the history of trade deals.
I think he got way more than that, and I think it was done without us all knowing about it. And I think what we saw came public was the money that was floating around from various schools and the number that you probably heard Cam's dad, Cecil, throw out a couple of times. But yeah, for sure they paid Cam. Yeah.
So wait, who's they?
Auburn did.
Okay, I thought you just said they didn't. We didn't.
No, I said with what was brought out in the public, that didn't come from Auburn. But yes, I think that Cam got paid. Yes.
See, this is my thing. Okay, I think we're looking at it wrong. Okay, don't be embarrassed that we paid Cam. Be proud.
I'm very proud of it.
For people that say we didn't pay him, there's going to be people in the comments. There's no way. There was an investigation. Like Auburn went through this whole thing. Like, don't look at it that way. Be proud. Like Auburn stepped up and said, hey, we're going to do the same thing everybody else is doing, and we're going to go buy us a daggum stud pony.
Listen.
And you went out and you made the greatest deal in the history of deals, and you got Cam Newton at I agree. They probably paid more than $180,000, but
yeah,
if it was $180,000, that's the best deal ever. You kidding me?
And let me just tell you, the way I explained it to a buddy of mine that was talking about it, because he goes, hey, I said, look, it's got nothing to do with paying him. I said, let's think about the forward-thinking people in the Auburn athletic department that knew NIL was coming, and they went ahead and got ahead of everybody.
Yeah,
and I don't know why that's such a big deal.
It's totally legal.
And so, yeah,
you know, when they change laws,
yes.
like a lot of times they go back and don't they go back and let people out for laws that are different now that they got convicted? Well, I mean, we need to go back and be proud. Let's go back and claim that we paid Cam. Let's do it. Why not?
Yes.
Go back. Let's just be honest.
If Alabama can claim all those championships, we can claim that we paid
You think Julio Jones wasn't paid?
Oh,
you think,
are you kidding me?
You think Trent Richardson, who all of a sudden his family moved from like Pensacola to Florence?
I got one better than that.
Yeah.
Who the hell moved from Hawaii to Alabama to play quarterback in Alabama?
Alabaster is a booming metropolis. Hey, yeah. Alabaster is pretty nice, by the way. I like it.
I don't doubt that it's nice.
Timberline, great golf course. Love it.
I'm sure.
Got a full moon barbecue, a Buffalo Wild Wings. Like it's bumping.
I'm just saying how the blue light special Kmart whistle didn't go off when that move got made to Alabama, and then he signs with Alabama. I'm sitting there and they go, oh, well, they didn't pay him. I'm like, you think any rational person that lives in Hawaii wants to move to Alabama?
But you know what? They wanted to win. They figured out a way to dadgum go do it. So that's what, if I'll get so tired of hearing people say, oh, they're cheating. Well, you know what? Figure out how to cheat too. You cheat better. Well, that's what you got to do to go win. So I'm proud of it. I think we paid him, and I'm going to say we paid him $1 million. I don't know.
I think we paid him way more than
why, but why not? Let's throw it out there. It's happening now. All right.
Just shows you what a poverty program Mississippi State is. That 180 got hung on them, and instead Auburn ended up probably paying him 1.5 to come.
Who knows? I'm just gonna, regardless. I think that's fun to talk about. I just think Auburn fans are looking. I think you look at it the wrong way. Don't like. It's not embarrassing. Not embarrassing to me in the least. Like that makes me proud.
God rest his soul. All the Auburn purists that are going, we didn't pay him. That that doesn't take. I can promise you the Heart of Auburn Motel saw plenty of deals go down during the Pat Dye era. That there were plenty of players that came here.
Oh, man. You talking about them $100 handshakes? Come on now.
Yeah.
All right. Is it ever okay to cheer for Alabama?
No.
In any scenario? There's no scenario whatsoever.
And my sister went to Alabama.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Alabama has to win. Let's say they've got a couple of losses and they're kind of out of the SEC championship. And they got to beat a team to get Auburn into the SEC championship. Do you cheer for Alabama?
No.
That's a sickness. That is a sickness. That's awful. So even if it benefits Auburn, you cannot cheer for Alabama.
I'm saying my prayers that night that Auburn gets in, regardless of how it happens.
Like in this scenario, they can't. They will not. Period. There's no way. This is the only way they get in. You got to cheer for Alabama to win. It's
time to rebuild and re-recruit, Kyle.
Just give it hey, let's just get ready for next year.
Let me tell you something. That guy right there above me, Takeo Spikes right there, there's no chance he's ever pulled for Alabama.
I don't know about that. I think he hates probably Georgia more than Alabama. But anyway.
Probably both. Yeah.
I would. If it benefits Auburn, I can handle it. I can stomach it.
You can. Yeah, but okay. So here's my question: when people say that,
okay,
has it got something to do with us growing up here? And we've all got family. Like I just mentioned, my sister went to Alabama, which really tears my heart out because she grew up an Auburn fan, but got a scholarship to Alabama. Clearly, you know who the smart one was of the family.
Yeah,
because I didn't get
a scholarship to Auburn.
I got zero scholarship money to go to Auburn. Let me just tell you that right now. That PAC program through the educators of Alabama, that's what put me through Auburn.
Let's go.
And
Rest
so
in peace, PAC program.
Yeah, exactly. Missing that with two teenagers about to get out of the house. And so I do wonder if those of us that have, I mean, we've all got like best friends that we play golf with that are Alabama fans. And it's just something about it. Like we love to kind of, give the needle to each other, but there are people that I'm also friends with that are Auburn fans. They're like, I mean, I got one guy that basically he says it didn't. If it was Alabama versus Russia, I'd be pulling for Russia. Like they can't stand them.
I had a guy on the show, and he said if it was Alabama versus the University of Satan, he would still.
It's a bit strong. That's where I probably would have to draw the line. It'd be tough for me to show up on Sunday and explain that one.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil my answer for the next one, but I'm just going to say I disagree. I would pull for Alabama if it benefits Auburn, and I'll explain why in just a second.
I would make you wear Alabama gear the next time we play golf with one another.
Last question: who do you hate more, Georgia or Alabama?
For me, it's Alabama.
Okay,
and the reason being is because I grew up playing. I actually wanted to play baseball for Georgia. Like I actually wanted to go to Georgia. So. For me, it's Alabama. And I came from the generation, which there are a lot of people my age probably listening to this right now, that when we tailgated over there during the fall, when I was in college in the late 90s, we had zero issues. We didn't get treated poorly at all. Like we had a blast while we were over there. And then something changed. Like Georgia hated South Carolina. They didn't hate Auburn. And so we got treated fine. Now, when I was in school, Florida was who we hated because Florida treated us like I went to one trip there and never went again. So, yeah, it's definitely, if it's between Alabama and Georgia, it's definitely Alabama in my opinion, because when I used to go tailgate there in the late 90s and early 2000s, I never had a bad experience. We got treated with basically royalty. We had people give us seats, man. Like we were able to, and so I never had an issue. And then I hear about these horror stories now, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not going back because I hear all the issues that take place. So yeah, it's Bama.
So
because
I grew up in Alabama,
Tuscaloosa. So
I grew up in Alabama as well, but for me, it's not even close. It's Georgia. I just hate everything about. I don't like Kirby Smart. I'm not a huge Kirby Smart fan, and I just don't like Georgia. And I think Nick Saban. Now, this is subject to change. Should things get, should Auburn get a little bit better and the Iron Bowl become more interesting? But for whatever reason, Saban just broke my wheel. He completely broke.
Did he?
Completely broke my wheel to the point where I started liking him. It's that bad. I don't know what do you call that? What is it called? Syndrome, where he
Stockholm syndrome? Like you finally just fell in love with your situation?
Yeah. It's like I just had Stockholm.
You just accepted the situation. You just like, this is what's going to happen.
And then I was like, then Georgia started doing Alabama stuff, and I'm not ready for it. Yeah. And again, I have this hang up with Kirby Smart just because of the way he handled some recruitments while he was at Alabama. And I just think he's, I mean, I guess all of them are, but he's just so fake. But I don't know, man. I can't stand Georgia right now. I would, if I had to pick a win in a season, like you could pick beating Georgia or Alabama, I'd pick Georgia 10 times out of 10 right now.
See, if
now that could change. In like 3 or 4 years. But right now, and I would say it's been that way probably over the last, it's probably been that way since 2017. I honestly think I enjoyed the Georgia win more than the Alabama game that year.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, if you had to tell me the 3 teams you want to beat the most, it would be Georgia actually comes in at 4. It would be Alabama number 1. It would be Florida number 2, just because of the way we were treated and the friends that I knew.
That was an every year rivalry game.
It was. And so it'd be Florida number 2, LSU at number 3. I mean, those LSU games, that was when I was in school, the barn burner. I mean, the interception game, like I was there at those games. So LSU at 3, and then Georgia probably in there at number 4. Georgia, it would probably go back and forth. LSU, Georgia probably kind of go back and forth in that deal. Because when I was in school, we beat Georgia 4 out of the 6 years that I was in school.
Yeah, so, it used to rotate like every other year, basically.
Yeah, so whereas the Florida issue was a different thing, and LSU, we never could win at LSU. So, I mean, so yeah, it was Florida and LSU were up there with me with hatred. But yeah, Alabama over Georgia, bar none, it'd be Alabama.
All right, Ben, you did a good job.
There's nothing else. No other. Okay, I'll take that.
That's it. Those were 4 pretty good ones.
No, they were great.
That was good. So we'll try to do this more. Let me know what you think in the comments on some of those. I think that could be fun. You could have whole shows on some of those. I think that would be fun.
Oh, you could do fun discussion on players, on coaches, like you were just talking about with Kirby. Yeah. Like, what coach do you hate the most?
Yeah,
and Houston Nuts up there with me. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but guys, I really appreciate you listening. We'll be back again soon. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.